the viewers and welcome to V Concept College English. My name is Ernest. Today I want to start a new series on lessons and structure. And this series is entitled 200 Commonly Misused Expressions in Everyday English. 200 commonly misused expressions in everyday English. Therefore, in this series, we shall look at the reasons for misused expressions in English and offer tips for avoiding these mistakes in your speech and writings. Kindly follow up with all the videos that we shall be uploading in this series to catch a glimpse of the full gist. Have a happy viewing. Welcome to the 5th episode of our 21-in-1 video series entitled 200 Commonly Misused Expressions in Everyday English. In today's episode, we shall be considering word sets 31 to 40. And these expressions include, how are you feeling? I am feeling sick. Are you hearing me? I forgot my book. What says the time? Time is moving fast. My watch is late. You are blocking me. I have a good news. Can you toast a lady? Now, as in our previous episodes, we shall pick an expression from here and then bring it to our table of analysis. Then the first thing we shall be doing to the word set would be to use them to construct a non-standard expression. And then we begin to look at the type of error to which the expression can be classified. Talking about the error type. Then after that, we now talk about the standard usage of the expression. Then after that still, we shall now offer some grammar tips that can help with the errors that we might have spotted with the non-standard construction. So this is what we shall be doing in this video today. Right away, let us get started with the first expression in our series, which is, how are you feeling? Our first non-standard expression in today's episode is, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? Now, this expression has been marked with 2 asterisks, with one at the beginning and another at the end of it, and as well underlined. Now, these are to show that the expression is not actually a non-standard expression, although we have featured it under non-standard. So why have we decided to feature it in this discussion? This is because it is commonly conflicted with another expression that is closely associated with it, and that expression is, how do you feel today? So sometimes in everyday English, the expression, how are you feeling today, is conflicted with, how do you feel today? So what is the error with this conflict, or what is the problem with this expression? We have here that the error type to which this conflict can be categorized is formal/informal. So that we are going to say, as you can see under standard consideration, how are you feeling today is formal, while how do you feel today can be formal and or informal. So this is where the conflict lies. Right, so how do we use the 2 expressions, or when should we use the expressions? For the first one, let's go over now to the grammar tips. We have that both expressions are in standard usage. I think we've already established that. Then number 2, the former is asking about your physical state, while the latter is asking about your emotional state. Now let's come back to the writings in green again. How are you feeling today is a formal expression. This means that it can only be used with people who are not familiar to you. In other words, people who are not closely related to you. Whereas, how do you feel today can be used both for people that are close to you or that are related to you and for people that are not related to you. But another very important aspect of this analysis is to understand that when you ask someone, how are you feeling today, you are concerned about their physical state. But when you ask someone, how do you feel today, you are trying to talk about their emotional state rather than their physical state. So this is how we can talk about these expressions in everyday English. With that, we move forward to our next set of expressions, which is I am feeling sick. Our next non-standard expression from word set 32 is I am feeling sick. I am feeling sick with the word sick underlined to indicate where the problem lies. This expression is ambiguous because of the word sick. Now let's talk about the grammar tips. The word sick can mean crazy and it can mean not mentally healthy. When you use the word sick to talk about the state of your health, you have to be very careful. This expression is capable of producing distorted interpretations because of the use of the word sick. So we need to be very conscious of the way we use this word sick. When you say that someone is sick, you may be saying that the person is not in his or her right senses, or that the person is crazy, simply put. That is what this word sick would easily suggest by way of interpretation. Therefore, we say that the expression can be ambiguous because of the presence of sick. Then, for the second part of the error categorization, we say that the expression has a lexical error because a wrong word has been used in the wrong place. So, I am feeling sick. The word sick is not a proper word for this expression, especially to say what this expression is intended to mean. Therefore, what are the possible standard usage of these same words? Number one, we have something like, I am not feeling well. So instead of saying, I am feeling sick, you can say, I am not feeling well. Or you say, I don't feel well. Or you say, I am unwell. So these are three possible suggestions that can replace this expression in standard usage. We shall now take a step forward and consider our next set of expression, which is, are you hearing me? Our next non-standard expression from word set 33 is, are you hearing me? Or are you seeing me? Or are you understanding me? So these are some sorts of questions. They involve certain verbs, and these verbs are called stative verbs. We need to be very careful with the way we use these verbs as continuous. These verbs are called stative verbs because they cannot be used in continuous form. And our expression here involves the continuous form of the verbs. Therefore, we are going to say that this expression or an expression that involves any of these verbs has a lexical error. So instead of saying, are you hearing me? When you come to the standard construction that we have on the board, you can say things like, do you hear me? Or can you hear me? And instead of saying, are you seeing me? You can say, do you see me? Or can you see me? And instead of saying, are you understanding me? Then you can say, do you understand me? Or can you understand me? So this is how to use these verbs in expressions to convey thoughts, to convey opinions, to convey feelings, and to convey perception. Sometimes we call some of the verbs verbs of perception. Let's move forward to I forgot my book. Our next non-standard expression from word set 34 is I forgot my book at home. I forgot my book at home, with the word forgot underlined in the expression indicating where the problem lies. So the problem with this expression is lexical in nature. In other words, we are going to say that the expression has a lexical error. Lexical because a word has been used in the wrong place. A lexical error is an error that has to do with vocabulary or words. When a word is used in the wrong place, then you are going to say that the expression has a lexical error. Now, let's talk about the standard usage of this expression. How can we construct this expression in standard format? Instead of saying, I forgot my book at home, you could say, I left my book at home. I left my book at home. Now, what are the grammar tips? Like we have here, you can only forget ideas or things that cannot be touched. So, a book is a concrete noun. It can be touched and it can be felt. So anything that can be touched and felt cannot be forgotten. You can only leave it behind. And at the end, you will say, I left it wherever. If it is home or church or market. So this is how we can talk about this expression in everyday English. Our next non-standard expression from word set 35 is what says the time, or what is the idea of your time. What says the time, or what is the idea of your time. These two expressions are non-standard. The problem with this expression, especially the first one, is ambiguity. What says the time? The use of time in this expression doesn't specifically refer to clock. Time can refer to your availability, your chance, allowance, space. And the expression is also going to become problematic because all of those elements cannot speak. So that is where the second error with the expression can now be spotted, which is lexical in nature. So we are going to say that this first expression is ambiguous because of the use of time, which does not specifically refer to clock or watch. And then the expression is lexical, or rather the error with the expression is lexical in nature because of the use of the word says. And like we have under the grammar tips, watch is inanimate, whereas only animates or persons can speak. So what then is the standard usage? Instead of saying what says the time or what is the idea of your time, you could say what is the time by your watch, or what is the time by the clock, as the case may be, depending on what you are referring to. Whether you are talking about the person's watch or a clock. So you are going to say what is the time by your watch or what is the time by your clock. So this is how we can talk about these expressions in everyday English. We shall now move forward to talk about the next word set, which is time is moving fast. Our next non-standard expression from word set 36 is time is moving too fast today. Time is moving too fast today. The problem with this expression is lexical in nature, so that we can say that this expression has a lexical error. And that error is coming from the use of the word moving to describe time. Like we have under the grammar tip, the progress of time derives from cosmology and may be described as going, not moving. It's something that has legs that moves. Time does not have legs and cannot be described as moving. But from the study of the sky, from the study of the planet, and from the study of cosmos, we can say that time goes. Time can go. We can use the expression going to describe time, and we cannot use moving to describe time. Therefore, what is the standard usage of this expression? Instead of saying the time is moving too fast today, you could say time is going by so fast today. Instead of time is moving too fast today, you could say time is going by so fast today. So that is how we can talk about this expression in everyday English. Let's now move forward to the next word set, which is my watch is late. Our next non-standard expression from word set 37 is my watch is 10 minutes late. My watch is 10 minutes late. Now, this expression is non-standard because it contains a lexical error. And why have we said that it contains a lexical error? It contains a lexical error because of the use of the word late. Now, if we go over the grammar tips, we have here that the word late is connected with arrival. So when we use the word late, or rather we can only use the word late with someone or something that is expected to arrive at a particular destination. So time or watch has no destination. Time or watch has no specific destination, so it cannot be said of being late. Therefore, the standard usage of this expression could be something like, my watch is 10 minutes slow. My watch is 10 minutes slow. And if you take the opposite of this, you can have something like, my watch is 10 minutes fast. So this is how we can talk about this expression in everyday usage. With that, we'll go over the next word set on our list, which is, you are blocking me. Our next non-standard expression from word set 38 is, you are blocking me. You are blocking me. Now, this expression is colloquial in nature, or we can say that it is ambiguous, so that the errors with this expression can either be ambiguity or colloquialism. So we're going to say that the expression is ambiguous, that is under ambiguity, because it is suggesting different interpretations. If you say that someone is blocking you, then that expression is not clear in meaning. Like we have under the grammar tip, we have here that the expression is not clear in meaning if what is being blocked is not mentioned. You cannot just tell someone that he or she is blocking you. So we cannot use this expression in this form. And then on the other hand, we can say that the expression is colloquial. It's colloquial because it's in common usage. We have it in everyday English, and people just tell you for casual reasons, or they just say it casually to people, hey guy, you are blocking me, or things like that. So when that happens, we are going to say that the expression is colloquial. Now, in what standard way can we use this expression therefore? For the first one, we have, you are blocking my view, or you are obstructing my view. Remember, we said under the grammar tips that the expression is not clear in meaning if what is being blocked is not mentioned. So in this case, what is being blocked is a person's view. So you are going to say, you are blocking my view, or you are obstructing my view. Our next expression is, I have a good news. Our next non-standard expression from word set 39 is, I have a good news for you. I have a good news for you. Now, the problem with this expression is verbosity, as you can see under the error tag. Now, why do we say that this expression is redundant? Remember that verbosity is a situation where an expression contains more words than needed in it. So, if you go to the grammar tip, for example, You'll find here that news is mass noun or non-count noun, and as a result, it does not require the article a. And now the article a has been used in this expression, rendering it redundant. Now, what is the standard usage of this expression? Instead of saying, I have a good news for you, you could say, I have good news for you. I have good news for you. But for purpose of emphasis, you can say, I have some good news for you. Remember, the article a cannot be used to modify this word news because it is a non-count noun or mass noun. So we move forward to the last set of words in this episode, which is, can you toast a lady? Our final non-standard expression in this episode is, James has been toasting my lady. James has been toasting my lady. Now, this expression is a slang, or we can say that it is colloquial. And the problem with it is the word toasting that has been used in it. When you go over the grammatic, you have that the word toasting is a slang. So the use of toasting in this word has rendered the expression informal. It has changed the entire expression into a slang or into a colloquial expression. And what is a colloquial expression? An informal expression that you can use only with friends or with people who are close and or related to you. So that is what we mean by a colloquial expression. So when you use the word toasting, you are using a slang or a colloquial expression. Now, what is the standard format? We have something like, James has been trying to woo my lady. James has been trying to woo my lady. So for the second grammar tips, we have, it can be replaced, that is, the word toasting can be replaced by trying to woo. James has been trying to woo my lady. So this is how we can talk about these words in everyday English. With this, we come to the end of this 5th episode in our series of 21 videos.